Here talk about Forrest Fenn in the it's in the Fringes. The Fringes. People won't go into the abstract. They refuse to. They refuse to use that part of their imagination, which is the failure of their treasure hunt. If your imagination fails, you fail. So, those saying, hey, he's just seeing shapes in rocks, it can't be the right way. Forrest Fenn would have never seen shapes in rocks. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. That's why he tells people to get into abstract art. It's in the Fringes. The Fringes, the stuff that, we can't go there. If I admitted that I seen that shape in that rock, all my friends would think I'm a psychopath. And the people that think I'm a psychopath are blooming idiots. These are actual things that are in the rocks. I'll switch around to the little picture I got here. Just get closer to it before I switch, so don't have. So, what do you see here? You know? We got this couple here facing each other. There's a nose and her nose. It's a couple there, but look at this guy. That's an eye. That's an eye. That's his nose. That's his mouth. It's also a face looking to the left and a face looking to the right. And all three faces use that same nose. It's called abstract. Now, if that doesn't remind you of Avatar, then go away. Don't ever comment on my videos. Go cry to your mama if you can't see it, but don't complain to me that it's just a shape in a rock. Because if you think these are just shapes in rocks, you're a total idiot. That's the truth of the matter. This is about the art in nature, and Forrest wanted his trove is the art in nature. You people that keep thinking that it's the golden box and all that, and yeah, it might be out there, but this trove of art in nature is what leads you to the treasure. If you're unable to see all the faces in stuff like this and be able to decipher the symbols and possibilities to the poem, I haven't tied this to any drawings in his book particularly, but it is amongst all the other stuff I've found there. So, it's about the art and the, I put another one on here. I'll show you. Just to... I made one. I found a quote. Okay. Now switch around again. Beep. Okay. In every landscape should reside jewels of abstract art waiting to be discovered. Melissa Brown. Now what do you see in this picture? Maybe an Indian chief. Try and see an Indian chief in the picture. Okay? Here's his face and head, and here's his headdress draping back. It's simple. You don't see it? Give up on hunting Forrest Fenn's treasure right now, because you're just you don't have the talent to find the treasure. You don't have the imagination to find the treasure. If you don't see the Indian chief here, then you're not going to be able to find Forrest Fenn's treasure, basically. You got to be able to see the abstract art in nature. And I notice, I go and look, and it's like, my video yesterday had 40 views or something. And that Man Alone guy, the guy that has, he talks about boots on the ground. He talks about all this, all the legal ramifications, and if you find the treasure, the IRS is going to put pine cones up your butt, and all these things to scare the hell out of you, trying to scare you from going after the treasure. Basically, for one, you can avoid all of those legal issues. If you find the treasure, you hide it for 10 years, you write a little note, you take a picture of it, mail it to yourself when you find it, with a post date on it and all that, with a seal, in a sealed envelope with a post date, and all proven that you found it in 2017. In 2028, you tell the IRS that you found this 11 years ago or whatever, and there's nothing they can do because their statute of limitations is 10 years. It's just like all these criminals in government who commit espionage and spy on presidential candidates and all that stuff, and they slow down the legal process until they've gone beyond their statute of limitations where anything can be done about it. So all of his legal things, you just got to hide it for that statute of limitations, and after that they can't do a thing to you about it. They can't touch it. They're done. I found this 12 years ago. You're beyond your statute of limitations to prosecute any crime. You made the law. Basically, tell the government, shove it up your ass. Speaking of the government and stuff, I just got a call. It was an automated call. I think it was some fraudulent thing trying to get my tax information, telling me to call some number back, that they were the IRS and they were investigating some kind of fraud. It's like, I ran out of money to make it to the end of the month. If I was committing a fraud, I'd be sitting on a big bag of money or a box of gold. But yeah, so yeah, the imagination is important. And he told several people that they should become an abstract artist because that's fairly easy. You don't have to paint anything real. It's just that the mind will see shapes and stuff in something, and if you pulled away from my pictures here, you'd probably see another picture in the whole picture, not just my beautiful peace pipe. There's that stuff. I made another little thing on here. Where did I put it? Whoop. Yeah, the abstract is the art of your imagination. So he talks about imagination, and there's a lot of people that think, oh, if I go to that part of my imagination, I'm practicing witchcraft and I'm a psycho then. And because 90% of the people can't see abstract art. And so that eliminates, that's why there's 300,000 people looking and very few that have a clue. Because the vast majority of people are not brave enough to say they see the abstract art. They're not brave enough to go into the wood. The wood is the art. The wood is art. The art is in wood frames. I need to just get a wood frame and do my thing. In the wood. I'm in the wood. What do you just put a frame around me. That's in the wood, is in the art. And he has specifically said it's in the art. Not in the poem, but he said it's in the art. And the poem also says it's in the wood. So it's in the art or wood. And both words mean the same thing. That's why he said it's in the art, because it tied to it's in the wood. And if you go out there, yeah, I mean, there's the word wood, there's the art, there's the trees, the woods. Everything that ties with wood is there, basically. But you got to be able to do the abstract to tie that word wood to the word art. That's an abstract. Wood is an abstract word of art, basically, according to Eric Sloane. Eric Sloane was all about wood. His book, Reverence for Wood. A Reverence for Wood. Now, I bet if we zoom out on, I bet we're going to see there's some type of figure in the pile of wood. That's what abstract is. If you can see the shapes, the psychiatrist has the ink blot test, and that's where, the big majority of you people that can't see the art, you tie it to, the psychiatrist ink blot tests. This psychiatric if you're seeing shapes in the wood and in the stones. You're a psycho, I got two viewers that aren't, that have their brains, it's their stuff together here, and they know that I'm talking the truth about this. The people that aren't watching and the people on the other channels that try and discredit me, well, I can discredit every one of them. Every one of them. The gypsies, they've eliminated the correct state and the other two states. It's not in New Mexico. New Mexico has some of the worst laws if you find it. Look at the laws of Colorado. Now, I've talked to I was a campground host at a federal Forest Service campground over the summer. And when you're the campground host, you get to meet the Forest Service cops. There was a couple of them. He had really nice looking assistant. And I met the sheriff come by, introduces himself. Oh, you're the campground host? Because I was like the mayor. I was the king of the mountain, basically, in his county. He comes by, because if I have trouble, I call him. And all of these guys told me, civil tax fraud. What kind of tax fraud am I committing? Assholes. IRS or whoever was trying to accuse me of committing some type of tax fraud. Explain. I'm on Social Security, and I don't make enough to pay taxes, so there's no tax fraud there, I don't even talk to the IRS because I don't have to. If I find a treasure, they think I've already got it, maybe, and that's what their tax fraud thing is. Yeah, nobody's hiding anything, dude. So, is that it? Some IRS creep monitoring my stuff, trying to figure out if I got the treasure, and we're going to investigate you for tax fraud? This sounds like something Hillary Clinton cooked up. Yeah, well, I don't take kindly to being accused of criminal acts and things like that, I don't hurt people. I don't commit crimes. I'm not that kind of person, I don't even drink. People accuse me of being drunk, like Forrest Fenn says, come on over here. Come on over here. Yeah, this thing can lay in 300 pounds of pressure. I can make people fly across parking spaces if I want to. I did one time when I was 18 or so, and me and a friend and my brothers, we went to this little Indy car racetrack, and we raced the car. And when we were leaving, it was my car, but my friend started getting in a fight with my brother, my little brother. He was, threw a punch at my little brother, fighting over who's going to ride shotgun in my car. And after he threw a punch at me, I went over, pow, planted one on him, and he landed on the trunk of a car across the parking space. That's how hard I hit him. I hit him hard enough to get him off the ground. So, if you hit somebody with 300 pounds and they only weigh 180, they're going to fly. You see it in the movies. But, yeah, I'm descended from Hercules, my 140th great-grandfather. But, now look at here. Inside of Eric Sloane's book. What are they? Wood grains. Wood grains. Just wood grains. They're art. That's art according to Eric Sloane. The wood grain isn't, you can see art in the wood grains. You can see art in wood. Look at the inside of the cover of the treasure box. The inside of the cover has art in it, and it's multi-layered. It's a lot like the Clovis art I found, just like the couple with the avatar face and all I started out on this video with. It's very, it goes into, you got your pine cones, leaves and stuff, how to identify trees, and, Eric Sloane drew the woods. He drew things that were in the woods. He found, is that not art? When somebody draws something, ask Matt Clayton. He draws ducks for postage stamps. And he's a him and his wife are both very talented artists. But, yeah, see, live oak and what the shape of the leaves and all. And isn't this not art? If this isn't art, then you don't know what you're talking about. Is architecture art? Architecture is art. Yeah, there was the whole area has a architecture to it, kind of. It's assembled. It's temples on top and tombs on the bottom and elephants in the creek. Oh, what's it say? I have a solve for Colorado. My car sucks, so... Yeah. Yeah, it's in Colorado. I've found too much to... I can eliminate the other places because of what I've found. Too much of his art. The Biddy's Boy, the Rockwell Boy, in two places. The Rockwell Boy. The Alphas and the Omegas and all that stuff. The guy on the back of the bird fishing while he's riding on a bird. That is fly fishing, if you ask me. And I don't know if Forrest Fenn was trained to fly a dodo bird, but that's what I seen. Yeah. Yeah, because the IRS, we're investigating you for tax fraud. You think I have the treasure? I need the elephant mask when I laugh. Yeah. You know what? If I had the treasure, I wouldn't be sitting here in my falling apart RV that has the generator don't work, the water heater don't work, the black tank is frozen, and yeah. If I had found the treasure, I'd be living in the penthouse at the Bellagio. And that treasure would be down in the casino behind bulletproof glass. And I'd be... No, man alone doesn't know where it is. He doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue. You're not going to find it. There, not one, three, what, how many 100,000 people went and looked? None of them found it on their first visit. None of them. None of them will. You're not going to find it just on a map. You have to go there. The poem leads you to the art. And then the art leads you to the treasure. So if you're, you know, it says in the poem, the end is in my drawings. The end is in my drawings. So I'm following the poem to the drawings. I follow the drawings to the, but, and he had the thing about the hat. He's totally wrong. Totally wrong. It's a hat trick. You know, it's like a shell game. A hat trick is a shell game. A shell game has 3 shells. A hat trick, his hat trick has 150 hats. There's 150 symbols of possibilities of where it can be. But you have to figure out which of those symbols is the blaze. These are all blazes, and there is the blaze. If they're the blaze, but look at that blaze, and that blaze, and this blaze, and this blaze. And why, something, my phone did a little like I was touching the screen, a little circle came up over there. Yeah, he's more worried about the legal aspects, and, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that was him that had the IRS call me. But then, you know, when you look it up, it says the IRS doesn't call and do this stuff. So it's not the IRS. The IRS would send me a letter. You know, they send it to my kid's house because that's the only address that I have. And, you know, in this country, if you don't own a home with a regular street address, they basically try and deny you your citizenship. You know, and it's like, stick it, government, stick it. I'm tired of, you know, the government doesn't belong in my butt. So, yeah, we got reverence for wood. And I'll tell you what Eric Sloane says here. The way this book came about, as I think back on it, is an odd one. For after having done a score of books about early American life, I found that I'd never done the one I first had in mind. The book to be called A Reverence for Wood. So this was the first book you want to do. So he did his, book on the weather and stuff. I found an amazing source of information, old diaries and almanacs, and before long my own interest in weather became submerged in the lore of early American countrymen. His manner of living with the seasons instead of battling to overcome them, his regard for natural resources, and his amazing reverence for wood seemed to be worth recording. I was recalling this to my friend Hugh Wildinger one day as we were flying over the New England countryside. Someday soon, I said. I must do the book about trees and wood. Down below, the wooded hills were just turning in their autumn colors, and the shadow of our plane raced across the sea of crimson russet. So well, it's the shadow of our plane. So, you know. Oh yeah, I've been within 500 feet. 500 feet's just driving by. People drove by. Lots of people drove by. Searchers. Now you take in the general public driving by that have no idea that many of them do. But people actually searching for the treasure driving by, there's a few that may have told him that I was here and I was here and here. And he knows that to go from here to here, you had to pass by here. And if you pass by here, you pass by the treasure within 500 feet. That's simple. It's not that anybody knew they were there. They had a target that was maybe miles from it, and on the way to that place went past it. That is all that means. That you can't expect it to mean anything more than that. It's people to think that I look out there and my dog is out there 120 yards out and just cutting across the field looking for rabbits. Something wrong with my what? You think you've been within 5 minutes? Yeah, man, alone really excitable. Yeah, he hasn't been searching, you know. And you watch them gypsies, and they get people on there that just started the search. Well, I can, and those people are agreeable. Oh yeah, I can go with New Mexico. I can go with New Mexico. I don't know anything yet, And people that cross Colorado off know nothing about Colorado. I lived in Colorado from '89 to 2002, and I've been to the high peak. I haven't been up Pikes Peak yet, but I've been to the top of Mount Evans and stuff. You go up top of Mount Evans, if you got a GM, push that OnStar button and ask them for your altitude. But, people, Molly Brown is in Denver. Oh, Molly Brown lived in Leadville. And their location is above the home of Fenn and below the home of Brown. Below the home of Brown could mean basically it's just south of between Leadville and Santa Fe is what he was telling you. Between Leadville and Santa Fe. That could be. But I did find the home of Brown over there in Pagosa. And it's a good home of Brown. I mean, it's the best home of Brown you'll ever find. Sold for $88 million. Do you know of any other home of Brown that sold for that much or more? Yeah, and Brown's dead. 2 people can keep a secret if one of them's dead. But he didn't die till 13, so. But he was dying of cancer and selling the land in '09, so maybe that's just how long it took him to die, and maybe he lost his mind, was gone before, when Forrest, well, his mind's too far gone to remember anything, maybe he had dementia and stuff. So, would his bones not be distributed where? Oh, no, Brown wouldn't be there. No, you're not going to find that. I don't think I'm going to find any bones, but I find things that resemble bones. There could be animal bones there or whatever. I don't know. But no, I don't think there's any bones. But there are thousands of tombs that might have bones in them. I don't know if they do, or if these are actually tombs, if they're actually tombs, or if they're just memorials. But it's like everybody in 13,000 BC had a memorial. It wasn't just the king. They're all over. The rocks are saturated with these figures, and you got to learn to be able to see it, Yeah, I'm looking at his pile of wood again, and each of these have a different pattern in the end of the log. See, they're all different. So everything's different. Each one tells a different story. Each log actually has a record of the life of that tree. You can probably match up the one end of the log with another end and find the rest of it. Things like that. You can find clues to get you through this wood. You could put this wood back together if you're able to see through the fringes. But yeah, husband and wife trees. So he looks at trees as people. He calls them husband and wife trees. Okay, my tombs, there's a lot of husband and wife figures and stuff in them. And here's your boot scrapers. And if he's got boot scrapers in there, I wonder if he has a boot jack in there. A boot jack has an omega on it. You put the heel of your boot in there, and you pull your boot up, and it pulls your boot up, because it's got that omega that grabs onto the heel of your boot. It comes up, or you slide your heel back in there, and you pull your foot up while you're stepping on the board with your other foot, But they look like an omega. So if you got two omegas, and those are like horseshoes too, and it's omegas, maybe they represent your feet. It's right under your feet. And so when you see the blaze, it's right under your feet. So maybe you see the blaze, like my canoe thing I found, with the canoe and the mammoth loading the passengers on the canoe to carry them over the mountain and stuff. And so you see this canoe under the rock, but you don't go sit right there underneath that thing to look at it. You go back a ways. You find there's another rock you're sitting on while you're looking at it. So while you're looking at this blaze, that treasure's right under your feet where you're sitting. Is the concept, that don't go. It's right there under your feet. That's why I had the theory that this is like, okay, Collected Works, the only place that sells the book. Or, the only place he has it at. So, the Collected Works, you get the book off the bookshelf, you read the book, you're standing there in the bookstore reading the book, and it's like that movie, The Never-Ending Story. Just his treasure hunt and his poem and all that have so many similarities to so many things that to get where I'm at, I use the 6 degrees of separation. That there are things right in front of you that are clues that you don't recognize. One of every 6 words is a clue. Well, 6 degrees of separation means, or say if you read 6 pages, one of those pages is going to have a lot of clues on it, more clues than the other. So you got Forrest Fenn's a wealthy man, so he would know other wealthy people, like Brown with the $88 million ranch. And when you look at the video of the tour of his house, when it was for sale for the real estate video, you see several bronzes in there. And somebody from southern Colorado ain't going to drive to Denver to go buy a bronze. They're going to go down to Santa Fe because it's a lot closer. you know. So this guy Brown, I'm sure, knew Forrest. I'm positive he bought artwork from Forrest Fenn's gallery. I'm positive that Forrest Fenn knew him. I'm positive that Forrest Fenn went to his place and fished in the San Juan River that crosses his property. And he, oh, there's no trout in there. Bullshit. That place is like heaven on earth. It's the greenest, most beautiful valley you'll find in America. There is nothing more beautiful than that valley. I'll tell you that. It's awesome. And, yeah. You know, I mentioned Brown and his home, and I mentioned the boot jack. If you can put Brown and the boot jack together, then you know who this Brown is. So, yeah, I think I just done about enough. I'm not seeing any new questions coming up. Put your program on hold, Bill. I gotta go watch the Toby Comedy Hour. Yeah, I watch them, and there's just, they had very, the only thing on that last video they did that I got from it was that supposedly there's two articles coming out in two different art magazines. And I've been searching every day on the internet, waiting for these things to come up. If anybody knows about them, let me know. Send me a link for the articles that are coming in the art magazine. And since I've found all this art, and I think I'll end my video with a picture of some of my art. And, you know, since I found it all, and I've sent Forrest copies of the art I've found. You know, I don't know. There could be something up. Maybe I don't know. But I would have thought that somebody would contact me if they were using any of the images that I've collected, because it's abstract stuff, and you know. So this, of course, is my this Forrest Fenn standing. There's his nose, his head, and he's standing there. Here's his belt. His belt buckle. I gotta look right behind his belt buckle. Okay, and his horse. This is his horse. This is the head, ears, the horse's body. I think I broke my pencil. So yeah, there's the horse's body, and so that's it. I'll end it here, and I'll watch the Lost Souls of New Mexico, I guess, just to see what they say. They've got me completely blocked from their channel. I'm not allowed to comment or anything on there. They blocked me for saying that they lacked imagination, and called that an insult. So that's how stupid and ignorant they are. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. When you're unnecessarily blocked by people who are just being a-holes, then I'm not afraid of calling them out on it. You know? That was asinine. Block me because he doesn't. Toby would have been fine with a version of Forrest Fenn's book with no drawings at all. He can't see the art in nature. So, yeah, it's terrible. I just, you know, I'm discredited, and they put all these useless people on, and really, I've got the best solve. The people that aren't seeing what I'm seeing, they'll never find the treasure. They don't have a chance, and I don't care about them. I don't care about the blind people who I've tried to instruct, and I've shown them the wonderful things I've found, and it's all BS. You see the woman sitting here, and she's got a red dress. Boom, boom, boom. There's her legs. Here's her arms. And there's her face in there. She's sitting in there. And here's Forrest Fenn. So, you know, and his horse. There's a character on the side saddle on the horse here with red pants and a green shirt. But the horse will be made up of other figures. There's an elephant behind him, this other figure, and this is his trunk coming down and up right here. But his trunk is also another human figure. It's just crazy. It's so much art in the nature there, and that's why he fell in love with it, because he could see his helicopters and his stories and his Model A cowl with the .50 caliber hole and the rock that looked like a ZPU gun and all the stuff in nature. So, well, I'm done. I'll go watch the other. I'll watch it, but you won't see my comments. You might comment to them. Why'd you block Gorman? Be like Gorman. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with those people. That was just rude and disrespectful what they did to me, and how they disrespect. I'm the searcher that I live in my motorhome. I'm on the search all summer long. I don't do the weekend. I don't fly out to go look. I'm there. I've been searching all week, about every week this winter. I've gone up once and checked the conditions, and when they're good, I go into areas and look. But most of my area is covered in snow. So, have a good day. Goodbye.